Good day. Today's column is called It's All in the Mindset. As people assembled in various countries over the past few weeks to protest, it became increasingly apparent that they had no real common purpose, except that is to protest something. Protest anything. In spite of the best efforts of the tax-subsidized CBC to have us believe that the protesters were assembling by the thousands rather than hundreds or dozens, the whole affair degenerated into a pretty miserable show, actually. As columnist Chantal Hebert said, the protesters should show up at the ballot box rather than the town square. It would do more good. Many of the protesters are actually professional protesters traveling from city to protest whatever needs to be protested that weekend. Columnist Ezra Levant claims that in Canada, many of the protesters are actually public service union leaders and staff. Could be, don't know, but it was obvious by listening to the protesters interviewed that they had no real common objective or message. It's too bad that they didn't put a small portion of their carbon footprint, their airfare, or even their bus fare into a political party membership and realize that to get something done you need to do more than shout, march, and then abuse the good graces of the local businesses by using their washrooms. Seems that a lot of businesses in the vicinity of the protests had a pretty high bill that week for water, for toilet paper, and for just general wear and tear on their businesses as the people would come in and use the washrooms without buying lunch. They were packing a lunch of their own. So not much increase in sales, but a fair increase in costs, and the local businesses weren't very happy. In Winnipeg this week, a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old were allegedly involved in a couple of robberies. They were apparently caught on surveillance cameras. The little snots had a can of bear spray and allegedly used it on one storekeeper. Too bad somebody didn't grab the kid and send him packing back out the door with the bear spray jammed in his backpack before a foot got applied to a part of the anatomy a little below the backpack. Anyway, they should have been dealt with. These two energetic kids had actually showed up at a business, if they'd showed up at a business, and asked if they could sweep the floor or carry out the garbage or package up the recycling, dust the shelves, whatever. Maybe they could have earned a little bit of money and learned that there's more to life. It's about law and order, work and reward. It's a pretty good system, and it works well until someone comes along and thinks they can short circuit this worky thing by stealing. The 13-year-old was allegedly out on probation. The little stinker should have been in reform school. Oops, forgot, can't do that. No reform schools. Too harsh. Well, boot camps then. Nope, can't do that. Can't have those. What to do? What to do? Oh yeah, turn them loose and let them steal all over again. That's worked really well for us. A story that might well be related to the above events came out last week. Some folks decided that they would try and live on what the province allows a single person on welfare to have for food. It's reported to be $4 a day or about that. Not very much, that's for sure. If you don't live near a few bigger stores where you can shop for day-old bread or shop from the discount bin, it's probably very hard to live on $4 a day. Put another way, if the only store you can get to is a convenience store, it could be very hard to live on that amount. The irony of the welfare system in Manitoba is that the great champions of the poor, the NDP, have not raised welfare rates in their whole mandate, 12 years. It's amazing that poor people insist on voting for the very party that has oppressed them for 12 years. The NDP blame the Conservatives for everything, but take no responsibility for anything. The people on welfare know this, but still doesn't seem to make any difference. The poor still vote for the oppressors. Is it some form of sick enabling or what? Being poor is a starting point in life for many people. It certainly was the starting point for many families a generation or two ago. It isn't meant to be a destination in a country like Canada. If a person is able to work at any job, they should be able to gradually climb out of poverty. If a person can't work, that's a different story. No argument there. Poverty and crime are like any other human condition in Canada. If you want to get out of it and you are able to work, you can get out of it. A person may need some help from a friend, a family member, a church, a social agency, but the changeover can be made. It's too bad more people just don't change their mindset. Thank you.